Say slave! Say you, Lord! Nah! Where are the verses, sister?
You will not take them!
Oh, stand masters!
Hello, believers. Today we are going back over 1400 years to the year 610. We are in a place called Mecca, which is located in modern-day Saudi Arabia. Our main character is a man named Muhammad. Before he was known as the Prophet of Islam, he was a very respected merchant known for his perfect honesty. People in his town called him Al-Amin, which means the trustworthy one. He belongs to the tribe of Quraysh, who are the leaders of Makkah. Today's story is about how the very first spark of Ramadan began, not with people skipping meals, but with a powerful voice in the dark. Imagine standing on a jagged, rocky mountain in the middle of a silent, boiling desert night, miles away from any help. It is lonely, it is pitch black, and honestly, you probably won't survive the physical exhaustion and the terrifying silence of these heights without a guide. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe Journey with Prophet, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here.
Let me know in which city from you are watching this and what time is there now. Do type in comments section below.
Now wear your headset to properly enjoy the story.
The sun sets over the desert, turning the sand into a deep orange and then into a cold blue. It is the month of Ramadan, but at this time it is just a normal month in the old Arabian calendar. Muhammad leaves the busy streets of Mecca behind. He is 40 years old and feels a deep need for quiet. He climbs the steep, narrow path of Mount Nur. The rocks are sharp and the air gets thinner as he goes higher. He reaches a tiny cave called Hira. This cave is so small that only one person can really sit comfortably inside. He stays there for many days, thinking about the world and praying to the creator of the universe. He is worried because the people in Mecca have forgotten how to be kind to the poor and the weak.
While he is sitting in the deep silence of the cave, something incredible happens. A light and a presence fill the small space. It is the Angel Jibreel. Jibreel is the chief of the angels, the one who brings messages from God to humans. The angel speaks with a voice that shakes the very walls of the cave. He says, "Read." Muhammad is terrified. He is a man who never learned how to read or write. He answers, "I cannot read." The angel Jibreel then hugs him so tightly that Muhammad feels like his breath is leaving him. The angel releases him and says again, "Read." Again, Muhammad says he cannot. This happens 3 times.
On the 3rd time, the angel reveals the first words of the Quran. He tells Muhammad to read in the name of his Lord who created everything. This is a famous historical fact. These first 5 verses of Surah Al-Alaq are the very first parts of the Quran ever sent down to earth. Muhammad is trembling with fear. His heart is beating like a drum against his ribs. He runs out of the cave and down the mountain. As he runs, he hears the voice again, and he looks up to see Jibreel filling the entire horizon. He is so scared that his legs feel like water. He finally reaches his home. His wife, Khadija, is waiting for him. She is a very wealthy and wise businesswoman who is many years older than him. Muhammad is shivering as if he has a fever. He cries out, "Cover me, cover me." Khadija wraps him in a heavy blanket and holds him until he stops shaking. He tells her everything that happened in the cave. He is worried that he is losing his mind. But Khadija is a strong woman. She looks at him and says that God would never hurt him. She reminds him that he is a good man who helps his family, feeds the hungry, and always tells the truth. This night is called Laylatul Qadr, or the Night of Power. It happened during the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan. Because the Quran started to come down on this night, the entire month became the most important time for believers. But at this moment, Muhammad and his small group of followers do not fast yet. They are just starting to learn the message of Islam. For the next 13 years in Mecca, they focus on their faith while facing many hardships from the leaders of the city who do not like their new message. The story of the daily fast from sunrise to sunset is still waiting to be born in a new city across the desert. Remember how Muhammad was shivering under that heavy blanket in Mecca after his first meeting with the Angel Jibreel? Those early years were very hard for the believers. They were treated poorly by the leaders of Mecca because they believed in only one God. Eventually, the situation became so dangerous that they had to leave their homes, their businesses, and their belongings behind. They traveled over 200 miles through the burning sand to a city called Madinah. This journey is known as the Hijra, which marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar. In this new city, the believers finally found peace and a place to build their community. It is now the second year after they arrived in Medina, and a new message comes to the Prophet that will change the lives of billions of people forever. The Prophet Muhammad is now the leader of a growing community. One afternoon, he receives a new revelation from God. The message tells the believers that fasting is now mandatory for them, just as it was for the people who came before them. For a high school student today, you might think fasting is just about not eating, but back then, it was a massive shift in how people lived. They were told to fast from the break of dawn until the sun completely disappeared below the horizon. They couldn't drink a single drop of water or eat any food during the daylight hours. This was meant to teach them self-discipline and taqwa, which is a word for being deeply aware of God's presence in every moment of the day. This first official Ramadan in Medina is not easy. Imagine the heat of the Arabian desert in the afternoon. The sun is a giant ball of fire in the sky, and the ground is so hot it can burn your feet through your sandals. The believers are working in their date palm groves and taking care of their families while their throats are dry and their stomachs are empty. But they are happy. They feel a new sense of brotherhood because everyone, whether they're rich or poor, is feeling the same hunger at the same time. They realize that when you are hungry, you finally understand what the poor people feel every single day of the year.
However, this first Ramadan brings a challenge that no one expected. While they are weak from fasting and getting used to this new way of life, news reaches Medina that a large army from Mecca is coming to attack them. This leads to a famous historical fact. The Battle of Badr, the first major battle in Islamic history, took place on the 17th day of the very first Ramadan in the year 624 CE. The believers are outnumbered 3-1. They have very few horses and only a few suits of armor, while the army from Mecca is well equipped and confident. The Prophet Muhammad spends the night before the battle praying and crying out to God for help. The believers are tired and hungry, but they stay strong. Even though they are fasting, they march out to a place called Badr. Some people are worried they won't have the strength to fight, but something amazing happens. A light rain falls from the sky, cooling the air and making the sand firm under their feet so they don't slip. Despite being smaller in number, the believers win the battle. This victory during the month of fasting showed them that spiritual strength is much more powerful than physical strength or having the best weapons. When the month finally ends, the people of Medina celebrate the very first Eid al-Fitr. This is the festival of breaking the fast. They wear their best clothes, give gifts to the children, and most importantly, they give food to the poor so that everyone can celebrate together. Ramadan is no longer just a month on a calendar. It has become a time of deep spiritual growth, sacrifice, and victory. They have learned that they can survive the hardest trials if they have faith. But the story of Ramadan doesn't stop with just one battle or one celebration. It begins to grow into a tradition that focuses on the most mysterious and beautiful night of the year.
The years pass by quickly in Medina, and the believers grow stronger in their faith. Remember that shivering man under the heavy blanket we talked about at the very beginning? He is now the leader of a massive community that spans across the desert. It is now the 8th year after the migration, and it is once again the month of Ramadan. The Prophet Muhammad is leading an army of 10,000 men back toward his home city of Mecca. This event is a famous historical fact. The Conquest of Mecca happened in the year 630 CE during the month of Ramadan. Even though they have the power to take revenge on the people who hurt them and chased them away years ago, the Prophet tells his followers to be kind. He enters the city riding his camel, bowing his head so low out of humility that his beard almost touches the saddle. He pardons his old enemies and cleans the holy Kaaba, bringing peace to the land where the first words of the Quran were once spoken in a lonely cave.
As the message of Islam spreads, the traditions of Ramadan begin to take the shape we recognize today. The believers learn that the most important nights are the last 10 nights of the month. They search for that special night, Laylat al-Qadr, which the Prophet says is hidden among the odd-numbered nights at the end of the month. This means that praying on this one single night is worth more than praying for an entire lifetime of 83 years. Because of this, the mosques fill up with people in the middle of the night. They stand in long rows for a special prayer called Taraweeh. They recite the entire Quran from beginning to end, their voices rising like a soft hum through the warm night air. The daily routine of the believers becomes a beautiful cycle of light and reflection. Long before the sun comes up, families wake up together for a meal called suhoor. This is a small breakfast eaten in the quiet hours when the rest of the world is still sleeping. It gives them the energy to face the long day of fasting ahead. Then, as the sun begins to set and the shadows stretch across the sand, everyone gathers around a table or a simple mat on the ground. They hold a date in their hands, waiting for the adhan, which is the rhythmic call to prayer from the mosque. When the voice of the caller rings out, they eat the date and drink a few sips of water. This moment of breaking the fast is called iftar. It is a moment of pure gratitude. They realize that a simple glass of water is one of the greatest gifts a person can ever receive. Through the centuries, this month has become a global journey of the soul. From the rocky mountains of Mecca to the modern cities of today, the story of Ramadan is a story of coming home to one's heart. It teaches the believer that the body can be hungry while the spirit is fed. It turns strangers into brothers and sisters as they share their bread. The month that started with a single man in a dark cave has turned into a bright light for millions of people. As the crescent moon for the next month appears in the sky, the believers feel a little sad to see Ramadan go, but they carry the lessons of patience, kindness, and honesty with them for the rest of the year. They know that the hunger they felt was just a way to make room for a deeper love for the Creator and for all of humanity. As our story comes to a gentle close, I want you to feel the quiet peace of a desert night. Imagine the soft wind blowing through the palm trees and the stars shining like tiny diamonds over the ancient city of Mecca. The world is finally still, and the long day of fasting has ended in a beautiful celebration of faith. Let the worries of your day drift away like smoke in the breeze. You are safe, you are loved, and you are part of a story that has lasted for over 14 centuries. Close your eyes now and feel the warmth of the blankets around you, just like the one that comforted the Prophet so long ago. The journey is complete, and your heart is at rest. Sleep deeply now, knowing that the light of truth always finds its way through the darkest night.